Good morning. Thank you for joining me for 5 good minutes in the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we are continuing our conversation about the centurions that we meet in the New Testament. And today we're going to Acts chapter 10 and talking about Cornelius. Cornelius is such an important figure in the history of God's people. He's the first Gentile convert, and he's sort of the Jackie Robinson of the book of Acts. He's such the perfect person to break that glass barrier that doesn't exist, one that humans have created, not God. And so let's meet him in Acts chapter 10. I'll begin reading with verse 1, and I'm going to read through verse 8. There was a certain man at Caesarea named Cornelius, a centurion of what was called the Italian cohort, a devout man, one who feared God with all his household, and gave many alms to the Jewish people, and prayed to God continually. And about the 9th hour of the day he clearly saw in a vision an angel of God who had come to him and said to him, Cornelius. And fixing his gaze upon him, and being much alarmed, he said, Lord, and he said to him, your prayers and alms have ascended as a memorial before God. And now dispatch some men to Joppa. Send for a man named Simon, who is also called Peter. He is staying with a certain tanner named Simon, whose house is by the sea. And when the angel who was speaking to him had departed, he summoned 2 of his servants and a devout soldier of those who were in constant attendance upon him. And after he had explained everything to them, he sent them to Joppa. We learn so much about Cornelius here. We know about his prayers and about his giving of alms, but the two things that the terms that are used to describe him are important. The first term is the word devout. We use that word in a different way than it was used in the first century. When we think of someone who's devout, we think of somebody who's spiritually minded and very serious in their demeanor. But devout means someone, quite literally, who is careful, who is observant. It technically describes someone who has ordered their days around their religious observance. And so he has regular times of the day when he prays, regular times of the day when he does particular things. He orders his days around his faith. This would come naturally to a military man in his station, I'm sure. He's also described as a God-fearer. That also is a technical term. A God-fearer is not just somebody who has a proper respect for God. Technically, to Jews, a God-fearer was a Gentile who was attached to Judaism but had not become a proselyte. Someone who believed in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who may even observe some of the Jewish rituals and feast days, but who was not circumcised, which he could not be and stay in the army, keep his commission, not circumcised and not a full adherent of Judaism. So this man is the perfect man to become a Christian. He has a household and a lot of people attending to him. That's important. He's in the Italian cohort. This is a man who is living in Caesarea. Caesarea is the Roman capital, the Roman, I should say, headquarters of Palestine. It's where Pilate would have kept court during Jesus' day, and he would only come to Jerusalem at special times. Because Judaism was a legalized religion, the Romans were limited in what they could do and how they could interfere in Jerusalem. Their headquarters was on the seashore in Caesarea. So he's the most important, most senior centurion Roman centurion in Palestine. And so he has a household attendants, some of whom are military, some of whom are not. He's evidently had an influence on the soldiers who are attending him because one of them is also described as devout. This man is the perfect man to be the first Gentile convert to Christianity. We're going to talk more about his conversion tomorrow. He's just such a wonderful man to get to spend time with. And I thank you for joining me today as we spend time with him together. We'll finish up his story tomorrow. Thank you for joining me for 5 Good Minutes.